Alrighty, what is up everybody, and welcome back to yet a, oops, I don't have the game open, to another episode, or not episode, fucking, what the hell, another video. Today, we're gonna be doing, Season 2, Round 2, Spain, but it was more like pain. So, yeah, I was doing the race yesterday, and we had a very good race. It was so good, and then I forgot that I need to start doing mid-session saves at the end of the race. Like just before you cross the finish line or the start-finish line. And yeah, then my power went out, so I couldn't save the race. I forgot to do a mid-session save, and even if I did a mid-session save, you guys wouldn't have this video in the first place. So I basically just sat down, finished the race, and now I'm gonna record the video so that way you guys have something interesting to watch, even though it's not that interesting because it's just me going through the race replay and it's not the live race, but it's gonna be as good as it can get. So yeah, we surprisingly made it into Q3 here at Spain. I was honestly thinking we were gonna do a lot worse. Oh shit. Oh, not cockpit cam. Ooh, that's an interesting cam. Nose cam. That's an interesting cam. I think that's far chase, near chase, and then that's TV pod offset, and then this is TV pod. So that's my custom camera, custom camera angle. If you guys want to see that, I can show you guys my settings. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna hide this because, you know, it's not really necessary. We don't need to see blah blah blah. But here we go for the race start. We're doing manual race starts, so obviously it's gonna be a bit difficult. And oh my goodness, we get a fairly good start even with the amount of wheel spin we had. We got, I think, no, that's Daniel Ricciardo to our left, and then we also have, I think that's Pierre Gasly. Yo, is that Gasly? Holy crap, yo. Or is he... Yeah, Gasly was behind me. So, he gets a really good start. And he goes over here, you know what I'm saying? And then we're kind of sandwiched into a 3 wide here into turn 1. But, you know, McLaren is obviously so much better. Wait, why do I have it paused? McLaren is so much better currently. So, we're supposed to be outperforming... I think we actually... Did we make contact here? Yeah, I accidentally bumped into him by the looks of it. I mean, I saw it on my camera as well, but it didn't look as bad. But I guess Gasly got screwed. So then we're squeezing him, and then he... Yeah, this... See, I'm squeezing him to the apex, but I don't realize that he's still there, even though I have the proximity arrows on, because I'm kind of an idiot. So I didn't leave him as much space, so we're brushing tires, and he might have got some wing damage from that, to be honest, because he seemed pretty slow. And yeah, so here he goes, blah, 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 he can't do anything, so we're kind of chilling. We maintain position, we start P8, we made it into Q3. Even at Spain, like Spain is basically like it's a benchmark track, I guess, because most of the teams, they'll do preseason testing here, and yeah, you can't see this corner right here, on the left, because this is a left-handed turn, obviously, because I need to explain that for some reason, but here, if you take too much of this curb, like my car got a little bit unsettled, like you can kind of see that, and oops, you also kind of want to like position your car. You kind of want to just have it go straight from this corner. You just want to have your wheels straight, and then you can kind of take a lot of this because this is where most of the traction is going to be, on whatever this is. But you want to miss that sausage curve right there, because otherwise, yeah, you'll go spinning. So luckily we don't have too many issues with that corner. This corner is a bit difficult too because we can't take it flat, not yet, because we don't have enough downforce, front and back. But we kind of send it on the brakes here. Get close to Daniel Ricciardo. Basically, we're trying to just keep close to the McLarens here for the opening 2-3 laps, so that we can try and get DRS. But I don't think much happens with us and the McLarens. Yeah, this chicane, you'll see more towards the end. But this chicane, I was hitting fairly consistently. I was hitting it very consistently in the previous race around here. But then again, I didn't do any practice before I hopped on for this race. So you'll probably see a few mistakes here and there. But we pushed through. But this chicane, you can see in the bottom middle part of the screen, we're in second gear. We're taking this corner at second gear, and then we upshift into third. And I have a little bit of throttle, and then you kind of just want to keep it as far to the left as possible to really just open up the right part of the chicane. And then here we go, boom, boom. We upshift into fourth, so that way we can kind of get smooth on the throttle as quickly as possible, so that way you can really maximize the exit speed from that corner. And then sometimes we kind of upshifted into fifth gear, in case we didn't get enough traction, because sometimes the rear wheels will be a bit weird exiting that corner if you hit the chicane wrong. And then same thing with that corner. You can take that corner, but it's just really, it punishes you if you put your car in the wrong spot. Like if you cut too much of the curb, you can possibly get a track limits warning. And the same thing with this next corner. Like you have to take, you either completely miss the curb, or you're riding, like your left tire is all the way on the left where the blue is. So that way, because if you ride that curb in the wrong way, your car is going to be going from straight to spinning, and your car is just going to go, it's like a pendulum. Your rear end will just go wash out, you'll spin out, not a good time. And then this corner as well, we can't take it flat because our car doesn't have enough downforce, because we're still I think we're the 7th best team on the grid at the moment. So we're kind of battling all the midfield teams, which is Alpine, AlphaTauri, Williams, Alfa Romeo, and Haas. And then we're kind of getting up there into the points positions, so we're kind of fighting for P8, P9, P10. So yeah, and since we made it into Q3, I'm just going to continue to play this while I explain stuff. Since we got into Q3, we're starting on the soft tires, because that's what we got into for Q3. We weren't able to qualify on mediums. I didn't even try. I knew our car wasn't that good enough anyway, so it wasn't even worth. And I was honestly surprised that we even made it into Q3 on this track with how our car is on the graph, or on the R&D chart. So yeah, the first 3 laps are kind of boring. Nothing really interesting happens. I think Daniel. I'm pretty sure we got we don't get DRS on that straight. Because DRS was just activated. So I think we got some oversteer here. Let's check. Yeah, we got some oversteer because we were too early on the throttle. So we had to counter steer in order to, keep the car, straight, and then also lift off of the throttle, so that way, you're not counter steering while your foot is still however much on the throttle you are, 75%, 70% is basically where you want to be at this point in time. And then when your wheel is straight, you want to be fully on the throttle. You want to be full on the gas, so that way you can accelerate out of the corner. But we get some oversteer, but we're able to manage it. Nothing too crazy. It's not like we spun out. Daniel gets some horrible traction out of that. Did you see that? He got some oversteer too, or understeer. I think it was more oversteer though. And we had 2 track limit warnings. I don't know where we got them though. And that corner, you kind of want to cut as much as possible. That blind right-hander, you want to cut as much as possible. But I realized in practice, if you took too much of the corner, you would either get a invalid or invalidation. So the lap, wouldn't count. But you would get a track limit warning in the race. So, and then if you take too little, you can run out wide. If you take too less, or if you take, yeah, if you take too little, you'll run out wide. If you take too much, you can, it can kind of unsettle your car on the exit as well. So here, yeah, see that? This is a good example. This is where you want to place your car if you're going to be taking this part of the inside curb. If you're taking the inside curb with your left tire, like your left front tire on the red and white curb, yeah, you might spin out. So you have to be careful, and your throttle application has to be pin perfect most of the time if you're trying to get this corner. So then, you know, you don't want to take the entire, you don't want to be on the entire red and white curb for that corner. You kind of want to just take a little bit so that way you can maximize more of the track, make it smaller, make it faster, blah blah blah. Lando, I don't know, looks like Lando has a problem. And we run out wide here. I think that might have been our first invalidation, to be honest. So yeah, we're still trying to get used to it. And then we run out a little bit wide here, but not wide enough to touch the grass, which is lucky because I also lifted off the throttle because we weren't gonna make that corner. So we lost some time to Danny Rick, but whatever. And yeah, this is basically where you want to put your car when you're turning in for this corner. You can't, like, at least for me, I don't want to take any of this inside curb. One, because I wasn't confident enough in the car, because it's, you know, still kind of unbalanced. Even though the setup I have is very, like, balance heavy, so, you know, you're not going to get too much oversteer, you're not going to get too much understeer. The throttle application works very well with the setup. But once our car gets to, like, Season 3 or end of Season 2, Season 3, when I'm expecting to take this corner, I'm not expecting to, like, I'm going to try and take this corner and see what happens for Season 3. But, yeah, then we get some good traction, blah, blah, blah. You know, kind of send it on the brakes here. Yeah, the same thing with this corner. So, here I'm trying to turn in because this corner approaches you a lot faster than you anticipate it to. So you have to turn in fairly early, but you don't want to see, I think I also had oversteer here or something. I can't remember, but I know I had some kind of problem, so let's watch this. So I snap, and that's a track limit. Actually, I think this was my first track limit warning. I think the other one was fine because, you know, it's not like I gained anything on Daniel. It's not like I had an advantage against anyone. I lost time. It's whatever. But this one, yeah, you want to basically completely miss this curb because, like, right here, I don't know if you can see that minor divot from where the red and white curb ends for the green. I don't even know what that's called. I don't think it's AstroTurf. But you kind of want to miss this corner for a lot of reasons because your front left tire can get unsettled. Your rear end tire can also get unsettled depending on how much curb you take. So you really kind of either just want to miss it or get really close to it. You'll see more of that later. I don't think that was a track limit warning. And if it was, it's kind of sad, but I think my tire was still on the white line. So, yeah, same thing with this one. If you take this corner wrong, if you hit that yellow sausage curb, your car is going to be very unsettled going into the next part of, you know, the next two corners, which is the chicane, which is hard to hit, but it's not that difficult to master. But yeah, you see that our car was unsettled. Boom, boom. And then, yeah, so I don't think we have DRS here either because we're behind Daniel Ricciardo, having some issues. But we're kind of dropping Gasly. He's at that, like, yeah, he's close to that second mark. But he's getting closer, ever so closer. So we're going to continue to just fast forward here because the first stint is not that exciting. But the tire wear around Spain is usually pretty high, so we obviously end up having to do a two-stop, which makes our race more difficult if you think about it. Oh yeah, same thing there. Like, look at that. I think we got on the throttle way too early here because we just have some oversteer, and then we have to countersteer, and then we have to countersteer the countersteer in order to maintain the car's positioning. And yeah, so that's that. Um, and then we dive into the pits here, I think with Daniel, and we absolutely send it. And we are so close to Daniel Ricciardo here in the pits. And since we're, you know, they like my engineer, Jeff, he was like, yeah, do you want to prolong your stint one more lap? And I was like, no, because I know the tire wear around here is very high, and if I can get off the tires as quickly as possible, that's better. So we still have the same amount of gap, I'm pretty sure, to Daniel, but yeah. So boom, this is our out lap. Nothing really happens. Kind of clean air. We kind of catch up to Daniel. You know, 8/10, 9/10, down to a second. We don't get DRS on this straight, but we use ERS. Uh, do 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 do. So yeah, then Gasly's in the pits. So I'm using all of my ERS to get past him, more or less, and he's using his ERS. But it looks like, yeah, he wasn't very comfortable with that corner coming out of the pit lane. So then now Daniel is battling Nikita Mazepin. Lando. Oh wait, no, that's Lando. Lando's in front of us. Oh shit, I didn't even realize. But Lando Norris is in front of us, so Daniel got a very good undercut on his teammate and Pierre Gasly, and we got the undercut on Pierre Gasly, but we ended up getting very close to Lando Norris. So I still pick the same braking point, but I cut back inside and I take advantage of where Lando is on the positioning of his car, and we just go past him. We just made that look so easy. Oh my goodness. So let's see. So this is what happens to Lando. He's not getting on the power early enough, and you know he's not getting good enough traction either, because you do as much as the green part of the track is, for most parts of the track, is where you want to put your car. In this instance, not really. He was more or less, I think, pushed out wide by Nikita Mazepin, so he was more or less forced to take a wider line, and you do not want to be on this red and white curb or the green stuff, because that's where you're not going to get a lot of traction. And when you come off this corner to turn into that left-hander, that's, you know, you can't take too much curb, otherwise you'll unsettle your car. You can unsettle your car leaving this curb, and you can see that. So he doesn't get good traction. We just zoom right by him, easy as pie. And now we're trying to line up Nikita Mazepin for the DRS straight, and he has DRS on Daniel, because Daniel is trying to get past Nicholas Latifi. But we get very good traction, very good exit out of here using some ERS. We got DRS wide open, and this I don't understand from Nikita Mazepin. When I was trying to do this overtake, it's almost like his tire is literally in between mine. And I think that's where I got some of my damage, because I felt like for the rest of the race, because when you get side pod damage or floor under tray damage, you cannot repair that during the race. So you're gonna have that damage there for the rest of the race. It's gonna affect how you're able to take corners and all that other stuff. But I wanted more room from Nikita Mazepin, and he wasn't giving me any. So I got the elbows out, and I probably took some damage, but it didn't show on my MFD, so I couldn't tell if I had damage or not. And I don't understand why it's still paused. But we cut a lot of the inside curbs, so that way we can get past him in case he decided to stick it around the outside. But he just couldn't. So here we go on Nicholas Latifi. We go around the outside, and then we fake, and then we pick up the throttle instantly, and we cut inside. Oh, this is a great overtake. Then we go around the outside of Nicholas Latifi at this hairpin, kind of. I don't even know if it's a hairpin. But we get past him fairly easily. Boom, Lando Norris now has to get past Nicholas Latifi. So we have one car in between me and Lando, which is good because Lando's in a much faster car. So we want to be able to keep him behind us for this two-stop, because that'll help us, but it'll also hurt him for the long run. So then we're kind of just trying to catch up to Daniel Ricciardo here. and Sean Galil, George Russell, Mick Schumacher, Robert Schwartzman. Perez comes in the pits, and he's P11, so we got a lot of making up to do. But he's also in a Red Bull, so there's not a lot to say there. Daniel does the same thing on Sean Galil, and then I do the same thing as I did to Lando Norris on Daniel Ricciardo, and he has to just back out of that corner, and I take this corner quite wide. I'm surprised he didn't stick it back up the inside. But it's fine. We cut back on this, boom, boom, get some good traction, and then we're just laying the power down as we gotta exit that corner. He has DRS, but that don't mean anything when we're on the slipstream of him with, no ERS, interesting. I probably used some though, and I didn't realize it, but we're sending it to the inside, almost run into the back of George Russell for that corner, but we don't take any damage, thankfully. Simulation damage is very, very punishing, but I like it. That's the whole point. It being realistic, and that's what I like to see, baby. But we're right on the back of George Russell here, and we just try and get really close. He gets some oversteer through that corner, unable to get the traction down properly, and then we get some I don't know, but that corner, I was hitting it every single time. So we go around the outside of George Russell here. Boom, boom, pow. He gets the elbows out. He's still ahead of us, so we have to give him the room. We go all the way around the outside of that corner, just missing any part of that curb, giving him all of the space he needs. But we get past him, and we kind of I think we instantly drop him through the chicane. Yeah, he's already 8 tenths behind us. So we get a very good launch off that corner. And even though he probably has DRS, it's not going to do much for him in the Williams, which is kind of sad. But I'm excited to see what happens to George Russell next season in 2022 for the actual F1 season. Same thing with that curb. If you take too much curb, or if you take too much of this curb and you're at like full throttle, spinning, you're gone. Peace. Sayonara. See you later. You're gone. Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris are behind Sean Galil and George Russell, so they're going to have a fun time. But Daniel looks like he's getting past Sean. Okay. So now we're trying to catch up to Mick Schumacher, and we have a bit of a struggle through that section. We lose some time, but then we gain it back. So then, boom, boom, pow. Trying to get on the traction, on the traction, yes. On the throttle as quickly as possible so we can get that traction. Trying to catch up to Mick Schumacher as fast as possible. We don't get a track limit warning there because, I lift off the throttle for that corner for the exit, but I don't even know. No, we don't have DRS. I'm checking the rear view mirrors to see if we have it, but we have enough straight line speed, we have enough drag reduction upgrades, and we get some massive, massive understeer or oversteer there. Can't remember which one it was because I'm not racing it right now. But, the rear end was just trying to let loose, and we were like, no, we have to try and keep it. So we lift off the throttle, but we get really close to Mick Schumacher here. Daniel is 3 seconds behind us. Somehow he's not catching me that fast, which is kind of weird. We take some curb. That might have been our second warning there because it looked like our tire was not anywhere close to the white line. Yeah, I think that was our second warning. But then again, I was pushing the limits as much as possible. So that's what you realistically want to do. You want to push it as hard as possible, but not get a warning. So, yeah. And honestly, I found out more and more using this curb on the inside for this hairpin actually helps you with more rotation through this corner. Because sometimes when you're braking and you're turning, you don't get enough rotation. So if you turn a little bit earlier than you typically would and you ride this curb, boom, extra rotation through this corner. And and it really helps. Miss more of that curb, keep it really tight even though we take a little bit wide. Get on the traction and the throttle early. Trying to just keep it close through here, keep it clean, keep it close. And so then Mick Schumacher has no DRS. We just fly by him like it's nothing. See you later, Mick Schumacher. So now we're sending on to Robert Schwartzman, our ex-teammate at Alfa Romeo. And what was really interesting was I was reading a article about what Alfa Romeo is going to do for next season with their drivers, because Kimi Räikkönen is kind of going to, not kind of, but we've heard that he might retire F1 after this year, because he's been doing it for like 19 years, I believe, and he wants to spend more. And he's also 42, so I mean, respect. So then we dive into the pits. Oh, this is lap 15. Yeah. What happened to Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo? What the hell happened? Yeah, because they were still racing, and then... Okay, so Nikita Mazepin comes out of the pits for some more softs. But what I want to know is what happened to Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo. Oh, okay, you're getting your front wing changed, mate. Yeah, so Daniel looks like he retired a lot earlier than Lance Stroll did. But we didn't get Daniel's notification that he retired until after. Okay, so let's check this out. Oh! Daniel, what did you do? Okay, so this is Lance Stroll. He's coming out of the pits. Daniel Ricciardo is fucking doing his thing. So he's braking, and he's turning in, and Fernando Alonso is just there, mate, and he just bumps into him. And then what happens to Lance Stroll? Great, absolutely nothing interesting. He just retires. Cool beans. So now we're just gonna fast forward. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what happens to them. I think, yeah, same thing with. So then, lap 15, we're supposed to be doing a 2-stop. Safety car is out because Daniel's crashed, and then Lance Stroll is also out of the session. So we still look at how many laps we have. We have what, 18 laps, 17, 18 laps. So we're gonna dive into the pits here, get a free pit stop, and pit for some hards. We get a very good pit entry there too. Diving into the pits, boom, some hard tires, blah blah blah. Then kind of save fuel, save ERS. And what's difficult about the safety car is how the tire temps, like the temperature of the tires, get so cold so fast, and it takes so much longer for them to heat up, it feels like. And I was trying to keep them warm as much as I possibly could, but what I was doing wasn't enough to keep them warm, which was kind of weird to think, because I was doing a lot of tire warm up, and then now the safety car's coming in. So we're trying to get extra temperature. I'm checking my temperature. We were at like 170 degrees Fahrenheit for our restart on our tires. And you can tell that our tires are so cold. We're sliding through. Mick Schumacher is having a look here with his overtake button. But we leave him space, but he just doesn't have enough straight line speed to do anything. So, yeah, we keep in front of him. And then we kind of start to pull away, trying to catch up to the pack again, because Mick Schumacher's just going to hold up everybody. Lando Norris down in P18, not looking too hot, mate. So here we go, through the chicane. on the straight, use some ERS. Trying to catch up to Robert Schwartzman, our ex-teammate. Yeah, so like I was saying, I was reading the article about Alfa Romeo's driver transfers, and they were thinking about, like, they were talking about Robert Schwartzman, and it's kind of funny because I realized after reading that, I was like, yo, he's on the Alfa Romeo team in my team career. So it would be crazy if, like, he actually ended up going to Alfa Romeo and he's in my career mode. So yeah, he brakes. Yeah, we don't match him on the brakes there. We can't get any closer, so we're just trying to keep close. And then DRS, I think, is activated the next lap, so lap 21. Yeah, after the race restarts, you have to wait 2-3 laps for DRS to be activated. Unless DRS is activated this lap. No, safety car came in on lap 17, so 18, 19, and 20. Yeah, so DRS might be activated this lap. We'll check in the mirrors real quick. Yeah, it's activated. So here we go, Robert Schwartzman. He brakes pretty early. I brake pretty late. I outbrake myself, so, you know, he just cuts back, regains the position. You know, horrible braking from myself, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I tried to send it, get past my old teammate. Couldn't really do much about it. It's unfortunate, but here we go. Trying to size up the move on Robert Schwartzman for this super long DRS straight. And we just make it look super easy. It's like we're a jet. So now we're basically just trying to catch up to our teammate, Felipe Massa. And he had a very good chance of scoring some points today, considering he was, you know, P10 after the race restart on some hards. So if anyone else had to make any pit stops, you know, we were going to benefit from it. So we're just trying to get close to Felipe Massa here for the next 10 laps. I swear, the hard tires, they didn't feel bad, but every time oh yeah, Max Verstappen DNF'd. I'm pretty sure it was just a mechanical failure, so nothing too crazy. Otherwise, we would have had a safety car or something. I feel like if there was excess debris, if he crashed, but I think it was just a mechanical failure. So we try and do the same. We look down the inside, and we try and go around the outside, trying to pick up the throttle, but Felipe Massa just totally out-tractioned us there. He got a much better run. And then we try and do the same thing here. You know, get close, get on the throttle earlier. But we can't do much about it, considering he's basically in the same car matching us. But it's fun being able to race against my teammate in the same machinery. And we're about the same, I guess, same caliber, even though he's an AI driver. So, you know, the AI is technically supposed to be better, but at a certain point when you drive around enough, you'll start to be better than the AI. So we keep a really, so basically for this corner, you don't want to take it full throttle, because if you're taking it full throttle, you're going to be going up and over this crest. Boom, rear end gone. Like, you'll be spinning over there to where, like, the orange part of the barrier. You'll be spinning over there or towards the Fly Emirates, you know, things. So you want to keep it like 80% on the throttle, and then keep this line really close, brake very little as well, and then boom, trying to get close to Felipe Massa to see if we can get a good run on this exit. And we get a fairly good run, to be honest, and we're able to just pass him like it's nothing. Maybe not like it's nothing, but we just get past him. We make it look like it's nothing. So then Felipe Massa, I think, I don't even know, what happened to him? It's like he let us have the corner. But now we're on to the back of Esteban Ocon. You know, we're up in P8. This is where we qualified, and we have 10 laps to go after the race restart. Sergio Perez is fending off Antonio Giovinazzi. And then we kiss the back of Esteban Ocon. We don't get any damage, according to our MFD. So I don't know if I have damage. I don't know if we don't have damage, but the car performance felt the same, and if it wasn't the same, it was very minor. Like, it almost didn't do anything to how the race finished. So yeah, and then we get pretty close to Esteban Ocon. He gets a good run on Antonio Giovinazzi. He tries to go around the outside. Giovinazzi pushes him wide. I do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. This is what you should do when you're doing career mode. If they're going to go too wide into either this corner, because this corner is kind of hard to overtake on, I can't lie. So if you have the inside line, you can push them out wide, so that way you know your line is going to be better. So for me as this driver, I'm braking about here, right? Just before the black box. Like as it goes out of view, I'm pretty sure is when we start braking. To match them on the brakes, to be as close as possible. And then, you know, it doesn't look like he pushes them out wide. He leaves him some room, but it doesn't look like Esteban Ocon has a good run out of this corner. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did to Lando and to Daniel. Boom. Switch back, get past him. Can't do anything about it. See you later, Esteban Ocon. Antonio Giovinazzi is the next person we're going to try and size up for a move here. And yeah. We get some oversteer there. But he doesn't have DRS. We have overtake and DRS. And we just zoom by. See you later, Antonio Giovinazzi. Doesn't do anything else for the rest of the race. See you later, Aston Martin. So now we're basically just trying to play catch up here. Trying to get up to Sergio Perez and Yuki Tsunoda. And we're not able to catch Perez or Tsunoda. But eventually Perez, I believe, gets past Yuki. I mean, we still have like 8-9 laps to go. Simulation. Yeah, so here we go. Yuki Tsunoda's battling with Sergio Perez, so that's going to slow him down, but Perez just gets by him. So then Yuki loses a position to Perez. You know, he's no longer P4. Perez is now P4. He's going to be chasing Fernando Alonso for that podium, since Max Verstappen DNF as well. So Red Bull's trying to make trying to gain as many points as possible without Max. Red Bull. So yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is able to keep up with Sergio Perez. And we get DRS, so we're getting closer to Yuki. We kind of send it on the brakes. Boom, boom. Nothing really happens. We're trying to get close to Yuki. I can't tell if I made a dive bomb. Oh! Yeah, so we go to the outside. No, we go to the inside to fake him to go around the outside. And he does not get a good run like we do. I mean, just look at this run we have. Whoops, that's Perez. We go around the outside. We leave him all the room in the world. We take all of that inside curb, so that way we leave him even more room. And then we just fly by him. We don't see him for the rest of the race. I mean, he's kind of still there, like in our DRS, but he isn't able to attack us for the remaining laps. Remainder? Yeah, fucking math. I suck at math. Well, not really. I like algebra, but algebra starts to get difficult after algebra 1. Algebra 2 was okay, but it was like algebra 2 and like some other weird stuff like trigonometry and all that other jazz. So I was like, I don't know. But we drop Yuki, you know, he's to that second part, and we're just trying to get close to Sergio Perez. But that's not gonna happen, especially if he's in a Red Bull. But if we were able to, but we were so far behind from Fernando.
So far behind. What?
Oh, dude. Nothing. I'm just recording a video. I'm just simulating the last 3 laps because nothing really happens.
Should I leave?
Nah, you're chilling, mate. Don't even sweat. But yeah, we end up finishing P5. So that's all of the race. I'm not even gonna show you the next 3 laps because it's fucking boring. But yeah, that's the race. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.